disgusting teacher and cop you will ever see in your natural life. Let's put up a mug shot. She's pleaded guilty because she's a monster. What did this teacher do? She has pleaded guilty to disturbing child sex crimes, including lacing cupcakes with her husband's sperm, and he was down with it, by the way, before feeding them to her students. That's the husband. He's a former deputy sheriff. Cynthia Perkins, let's go back to her. Cynthia Perkins, 36 years of age, is facing 41 years in prison after taking a plea deal on Monday in exchange for testifying against her now ex-husband, Dennis Perkins. This has a long and twisted, dark history. Mr. Perkins, the deputy sheriff, was working at the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office, all right, at the time of his arrest. The Louisiana woman initially protested her innocence to 72 charges for various sex crimes, yet this week pleaded guilty to producing child pornography, second-degree rape, and mingling harmful substances. The charge about harmful substances allegedly refers to an incident in which this sick woman used her husband's sperm to season pastries for Westside Junior High School students. Listen, I know this story is a hard story to listen to. I'm highlighting this story because parents in particular, we need to always be reminded that real monsters exist in the world. These are two of them. The story gets even deeper. These three we thought were representative of what she had done, and by agreeing to the facts as we put them out on record, she prepared herself to testify against Dennis Perkins. That's according to the Assistant Louisiana Attorney General, Barry Milligan. Barry said that on Monday. Cynthia and Dennis Perkins were arrested in October 2019. They faced 150 felony charges, including rape, child pornography, sexual battery of a child, and video voyeurism. There were also charges related to a dog, according to Daily Star. So Cynthia files for divorce. So you have the wife, she files for divorce and resigned from her role as a high school teacher. They allowed her to resign rather than making an example of her. She claimed she was manipulated by her then husband to commit the horrible crimes. Oh, I'm the victim here, was her story. WBRZ reports Dennis Perkins was fired from the sheriff's department after the charges were brought. Now remember, they were under investigation, then the charges hit, and that's when they started losing and resigning from their jobs. So Cynthia Perkins was scheduled to face a trial by jury on Monday, which means the victims, these minors, which by the way are under 13 years of age, would have had to testify in the court of law. She was facing 72 years in prison. However, 68 of the remaining charges against her were dropped when she took a plea deal. She was given 40 years for second-degree rape, 30 years concurrent for sex crimes involving a juvenile under 13. That horrible human being will die in prison. Sperm-laced cupcakes. Incident hit her with 1 year sentence, all right? She got 1 year for that one. She has no possibility of parole after taking the deal, according to the Attorney General of the state. He said, and I quote, today, Cynthia Perkins admitted to her crimes and pled guilty in court. The AG further noted, she not only waived any right to appeal and attempt to avoid conviction, but she also spared the victims, talking about the children, from reliving her horrific crimes during this particular trial. Conviction is in the best interest of our victims and justice. We look forward to holding Dennis Perkins, the cop, accountable for his crimes in the very near future, because Dennis Perkins has pleaded not guilty, which means if he goes to trial and his wife has already agreed to testify against him, his ex-wife, he goes to trial, those children, by law, they have to take the stand because he has a constitutional right to approach those that accuse him. Yet they eventually agreed to a deal, which was also okayed by the victim's family, talking about the ex-wife. They feel that this serves justice and better protects their children, said the Attorney General. If the victim's family, if they are okay with this, that's cool. You always look to that, okay? Now, Let's keep it all the way 100. Routinely, individuals who are monsters and perverts against our children in particular, they seek opportunities to affix their lives around children. They also look for opportunities to have public trust so that if there's an accusation against them, people in the community would say, oh no, never that person. I mean, that's an upstanding deputy sheriff. That's an award-winning school teacher. They're monsters all along. And let's be real. They have the complexion for protection. According to the narrative, they've been doing this for years and getting away with it. They're sick, and what they're getting, they don't deserve. They don't deserve the light sentencing of life in prison or to die behind bars the way they victimize children. Now, these victims, they're gonna have to go through counseling, years of torment, years of pain. I'm hopeful that whatever comes out of this, as it relates to a settlement, as it relates to a lawsuit, that they are able to get the wraparound services they need because they were victimized by these two individuals who were paid by taxpayers.